It's really crazy. It's like they go bankrupt within 3 years. I think it's something nutty, and it's like a high percentage.
Joe Rogan has added his take on the resurfacing reports that Vanessa Bryant might be going bankrupt. Just recently, Rogan talked about how celebrities often lose control of their money, and it instantly got tied to Vanessa's name. Rogan didn't hold back. He said that when people believe money will never run out, they live as if every day is a shopping spree. He explained that too many celebrities hand over their finances to advisors, pay for giant entourages, and spend without looking at the numbers. Before they know it, they're in court or staring at articles about bankruptcy.
Pretty white lady, looked like you was down for the mamba, man. Looked like you had his best interest, bruh. But look at this, 5 years later, and everything is going down. You feel me?
In the past few years, Vanessa has been in courtrooms almost as often as she's been in the public spotlight. The biggest case was against Los Angeles County. After the 2020 crash that took Kobe and Gianna's lives, shocking details came out about sheriff's deputies and firefighters sharing photos from the site. Vanessa took them to court, refusing to let it slide. The jury sided with her, awarding her millions.
This is senior citizen abuse. You don't care if your kids have grandparents? Why are you starving out Kobe's folks?
You can't be mad at the parents on this one. They broke. They got no money. You can't.
By early 2023, the case ended in a global settlement worth about $28.5 million. That was on top of earlier decisions that had already awarded money. For most people, that number is hard to even imagine. But as Rogan likes to say, big numbers don't always mean lasting wealth. The legal process alone is expensive, with lawyers, experts, and years of fees. On top of that, Vanessa has 3 daughters, and the estate itself is full of obligations, assets, and investments that constantly need attention.
If the Bryant estate was worth $600 million, there is no reason why Kobe's parents should have been struggling in their later years. The mama's still alive. You can get up out my chat. There's no reason why they should be struggling, in my opinion. Even if they didn't like you,
The Nike deal was another big headline. Back in 2021, things looked rocky between the Bryant estate and Nike. The original deal had expired, and for a while, it seemed like Kobe's shoes might not be made again. Fans weren't happy, and sneaker collectors saw prices on resale markets skyrocket. Then, in March 2022, everything changed. Vanessa and Nike announced a new long-term deal. Kobe's signature line would return to stores, and Gianna would even have her own sneakers, with proceeds going to the Mamba and Mambacita Foundation.
Vanessa Bryant is really disappointed in Nike right now after someone tries to resell her unreleased Nike collaboration in honor of Gigi for $900. She writes on Instagram, "The Mambacita shoes are not approved for sale. It's to be sold in honor of my daughter, with all of the proceeds benefiting Mambacita Sports. Nike has not sent any of these pairs to her or her girl."
That moment wasn't just about shoes, it was about keeping Kobe's legacy alive in a way that fans could see and touch. Rogan has often joked about how sneaker drops cause near riots at malls, and he's right. The return of Kobe's line was like fuel on a fire. But he's also pointed out that these deals don't pay out like a lottery win. They're structured, they're spread over years, and they depend on sales. So while it's a huge deal for the estate, it's not the same as waking up one morning with a vault of money. Estate planning is another piece of Vanessa's world that rarely gets talked about in detail. When Kobe passed, the trust he had set up became the core of the family's financial life.
Photos that were taken and shared of Kobe Bryant's remains after his helicopter crash. In the post, she highlighted the names of the individual officers who were alleged to have taken and shared those photos. So what's all the excitement about here? And did she do something wrong? Now, it is possible to shield the names of parties to a lawsuit, but according to California case law, it has to be for a compelling reason. It usually is for
A trust is basically a legal container for money, property, and investments, with rules for who gets what and when. Vanessa and the children were beneficiaries. In 2020, just months after the crash, trustees went to court to adjust the trust so the youngest daughter, Capri, could also be included.
Say they had his best interest at heart.
No.
Yes.
Gil. Kobe made that money. His mom and dad ain't got anything to do with that.
They're cut off. So the wife cuts off the parents no matter what. So now Kobe is trying to feed them in the back end. Eventually, the wife is making all the decisions. Vanessa is the one who's saying, they don't like me, well, I don't like them. They can stay over there. They can't see the kid.
It was a small legal step, but it showed how carefully the estate had to be managed. Rogan once mentioned on his show that most people don't understand what net worth really means. A headline might say someone is worth $600 million, but that doesn't mean they have that cash in their bank account. It could be tied up in property, business stakes, or long-term deals. That's exactly the case with Kobe's estate.
He was so career focused that he didn't have time to build a relationship, and he knew he didn't, and he wasn't going to give time to build a relationship. So he was looking for a woman who he could kind of fast track the relationship process with. That's how he ended up, and he met, and then he ended up meeting the woman who became his wife. And she was...
On top of the trust in the Nike deal, Vannesa also manages the Mamba and Mambacita Sports Foundation. The charity funds youth sports programs and keeps Kobe and Gianna's names alive through real community impact. That's not a small project. Running a foundation takes money, staff, and constant fundraising. Rogan has said before that celebrities often take on causes because they feel personal, but he also points out how running them can eat up money fast if you're not careful. Vanessa's foundation is high profile, which means high expectations. Events, donations, and branded releases are part of keeping it alive.
Vannesa Bryant, the wife of the late, great Kobe Bryant, has announced that 6 universities will be partnering with her foundation, Mamba and Mambacita Sports Foundation, that was set up in memory of Kobe and Gigi, who died in a helicopter crash in 2020. And those 6 schools are LSU, University of Connecticut, University of Southern California, University of Kentucky, and University of Oregon, and Duke University. Now, some people have pointed out that none of those schools are black, and so they're saying, well, why did...
Public appearances also add another layer. Whether it's speaking at a Lakers ceremony, working with Nike, or simply being photographed at events, Vannesa is always seen as representing Kobe's legacy. That pressure never goes away. Rogan once joked about how fame means you're never really off the clock, and it fits perfectly here. Every move Vannesa makes, people dissect it. If she buys a house, if she sells a house, if she signs a deal, it becomes news. Managing wealth in private is one thing. Managing it under the spotlight of millions is something else entirely.
Hey, shout out to Vannesa Bryant for getting the job done, making Nike come to their senses. She's holding up to her end for her late husband and her fallen daughter. Great to see that the Mamba brand will continue on with the Nike and Mamba collaboration. Shout out to this strong Latina woman, man. Nike, come on, you can't mess with these Latinas.
One of the more fascinating parts of Vanessa's story is the way business and personal life overlap. Kobe wasn't just a basketball player, he was also an investor. He famously invested in a sports drink company, Body Armor, long before it exploded in value. That meant his estate had equity, not just cash. For someone like Vannesa, that means constant decisions about whether to hold or sell, whether to reinvest or cash out. Rogan has often said that the difference between people who stay rich and people who lose it all is whether they understand that money doesn't sit still. It either grows or slips away.
Vannesa Bryant is donating the $16 million she won from LA County to the Mamba and Mambacita Foundation. In case you're unaware, the Mamba and Mambacita Sports Foundation is a non-profit organization dedicated to creating positive impact for underserved athletes and boys and girls in sports. The foundation was founded through the vision and loving memory of Kobe and Gigi Bryant. In this quote from TMZ, Vanessa's attorney says, from the beginning, Vannesa Bryant...
Vanessa's legal fights have also shown just how expensive justice can be. Even after winning the $28.5 million settlement, she was still dealing with filings, deadlines, and court motions. That means more lawyers and more bills. Rogan's take on lawsuits is simple. The lawyers always win. He laughs about how even when someone gets a huge payout, the lawyers already have their share lined up. In Vanessa's case, the settlement was big, but it came after years of stress and effort. It wasn't just money falling from the sky.
Vannesa Bryant is donating the $16 million she won from LA County to the Mamba and Mambacita Foundation. In case you're unaware, the Mamba and Mambacita Sports Foundation is a non-profit organization dedicated to creating positive impact for underserved athletes and boys and girls in sports.
The connection between Kobe's legacy and Nike isn't just about shoes either. Merchandise tied to his name keeps selling, from jerseys to collectibles. That creates another stream of income for the estate. But with income comes management. Rogan has told stories about fighters who forget about taxes until the government shows up. He warns about how you can't spend every dollar that comes in because a big chunk is already owed before it ever reaches you. That's the kind of behind-the-scenes reality that someone like Vannesa is dealing with constantly.
What made her the one You know, it's hard to pinpoint what exactly makes a person the one for you, but you just know. I mean, love is a fun.
When people look at Vanessa, they see someone who lost a husband and daughter, but they also see someone tied to one of the biggest names in sports history. That combination means she carries both sympathy and scrutiny. Rogan would likely say that the scrutiny never ends because people are fascinated by money. He said before that the quickest way to get people's attention is to put a dollar sign in a headline. Vanessa knows that reality better than most.
Good take on that, Ree. Good take on that.
But she should have had a mama like Vannesa Bryant, because Vannesa Bryant was that a video hoe, and she got Kobe. Now she got millions. She knows how to play the goddamn curve.
Oh, just one man. Just take the right man. That's it. The whole family life, as Babe Brother just said. Diddy's wealth trickled down to the whole family. Hell yeah.
She also knows the balancing act between honoring Kobe's memory and keeping business moving. The Nike deal is a perfect example of that balance. On one hand, it's about giving fans access to Kobe's sneakers again. On the other hand, it's about ensuring that Kobe's name continues to generate value that supports the family and the foundation. What do you think of the whole situation? Share your thoughts below and subscribe for more updates.